Hello everyone, it's me again, MX Shu. So, in the last episode, we talked about the rise of a new political party in Taiwan, the TPP. Let's see how this new party rocked the world of the other two parties and turned Taiwan's election politics into a soap opera. Ever since the three parties announced their presidential candidates earlier this year, the media and survey companies in Taiwan started releasing the results of opinion polls. Although it is widely believed that more than 60% of the population wants a change of government, the polls still indicate that the ruling party, the DPP, is in the lead. Perhaps out of fear of losing, or just desperation, public opinions have surfaced about the cooperation between the KMT and TPP. Now if you remember from the last episode, that implies cooperation between a 100-year-old grandpa party and a 4-year-old toddler party, a doomed marriage between the blue and white parties. To make it easier to understand, I'm going to use the representative colors for each of the parties now. Blue is for the KMT, green represents the DPP, and white represents the TPP. For a little bit of background, Taiwan has practiced direct voting for president since 1996, and the timeline for elected parties has been blue for 4 years, green for 8 years, blue for 8 years, and then green for 8 years. See the pattern? It appears as though when it comes to presidential elections, people in Taiwan are either torn between ideologies, or they are disappointed by corruption or incompetence within the ruling party. Most recently, after 8 years of a Green Party president in office, is a swing to the Blue Party in 2024 now expected? Ironically, from out of the nowhere, the toddler White Party entered the room and seriously changed the game. A few months ago, when the Blue Party realized that it would be unlikely to win the presidential election on their own, they held out an olive branch to the White Party, promoting the idea of cooperation. The White Party agreed to cooperation in order to address 60% of the population's desire for a change of government. And due to the consent to cooperate between the blue and white parties, now the question has turned to how to determine who the candidates for president and running mate will be. The Blue Party wants to use the primary election approach. However, the White Party says, because it's October already, there's not enough time for primaries, so using poll results is the way to go. Following that, the Blue Party then wanted to use the German or Japanese election method, which means also factoring in the influence/power of the party membership. The White Party resisted this approach too, saying heck no, that's a guaranteed win for you, so using public polls is the way to go. Ultimately, due to the impasse, the former Blue Party president
马英九
decided to step in and successfully brought together the 4 key players in the same room to come up with an agreement. Who are these 4 key players that Ma locked in the room? They were the Blue Party former President Ma, Blue Party Chairman Chu, the Blue Party presidential candidate
侯友宜
and the White Party presidential candidate
柯文哲
So in the room were 3 blue players versus 1 white player? Interesting. And what was the agreement? Well, as a Mandarin native speaker, I can tell you that I understand every character in the document, but the content of the agreement is vague and interpretations of the wording can definitely vary. Nevertheless, the dates resulting from the agreement are certain. It was signed on November 15th, and the results would be announced on November 18th. And the method to determine who the presidential candidate is would be based on comparing the public poll results between November 7th and November 17th. Most importantly, in each poll result, if the white candidate did not beat the blue candidate by more than the margin of error for each poll, it would be considered a win for the Blue Party. What the does that mean? So according to Google, using a sample of 1,000 voters has a margin of error of 3%. Meaning that, If the white candidate Ko does not beat the blue candidate Ho by more than 3% in the poll when the sample size is 1,000, then the blue party wins the poll. And according to the terms of the agreement, whichever team wins the most polls will be the presidential candidate, and the losing team will be the vice presidential candidate as running mate in the blue-white party marriage. Why would Ko sign an agreement with such a disadvantage? Perhaps overconfidence in the polls, as the poll results he reviewed previously suggested he would win despite the disadvantages? Or maybe it was a moment of weakness when he was confined in a room with 3 very persuasive politicians. I don't know. But the fact is that Ko was questioned intensively after signing that agreement, even among his supporters and within his own party. After signing the agreement, he released a video the very next day to explain his thoughts, and even shed some tears on camera. He said it was a compromise he was willing to make because of the voices of the people he heard and the worries that people shared with him when he was on the campaign trail, especially in the more rural areas of southern Taiwan. He said he will not give up if the people don't give up on him, thereby rallying more supporters to show their support for him in the coming polls. In the next episode, I will share with you how absurd the outcome of this interesting agreement was. And I promise very little math is involved. Please stay tuned and thanks for watching.